What's up guys, KPlays here. Yesterday we finally got us some really good hunting horn gameplay during the last Gamecom stream, and I mean like really good. I was watching through it yesterday, I'm like, this answers almost every question I still have, and this guy is finally showing all the things we've been talking about that I want to see used properly. Jeez, did he watch my videos or something? Guys, he did. He literally did. Yes, this is I Am a Giraffe Monster Hunter, who has some solid guides for World and Rise that I definitely suggest you guys go check out. In a super lucky case of right place, right time, the Capcom staff managed to catch him and a group of other players take down a raid out for the first time at the event, and in a crazy turn of events, they ended up getting pulled on stage for the closing hunt of Gamescom to do it on the big screen, live. And fortunately for us all, they happened to pick someone that wanted to give Hunting Horn the best showcasing we've seen for the whole event, after the whole Hunting Horn is used for the secondary buffing of other weapons thing. So imagine my surprise when coincidentally, this just so happened to be one of the same Gamescom attendees who Impressions have been helping me make these analysis videos, and in turn, these analysis videos helped him apply more of the techniques that he pulled out in his gameplay. Now, I absolutely do not want to take credit for yesterday's gameplay. All 100% of that goes to this awesome guy for bringing us exactly what we wanted to see all week. But this right here, this situation, this collaborative effort and back and forth info spreading is exactly why I love making these videos. You couldn't tell me anything yesterday. The way this whole situation played out could not have made me happier. It's always great to see the Hunting Horn community band together like this to produce greatness. Of course, there is the obligatory
It should have been me!
But I'm sure I'll get my chance soon. For now, I want to say congrats to I Am a Giraffe. I'm happy for you getting the chance to get up there, and we all appreciate you showing out for us a ton. And I also appreciate you for putting up with me being a Hunting Horn fanatic and being up for a little Q&A session before your flight back home, so I could pick your brain for any other little things I've been wondering about too. But with that said, once again, let's dig into it. With everything finally being put into practice well here, as I predicted, there were definitely even more techniques to pick out. This version of Hunting Horn definitely feels like something we almost could have had built up over a few games and generations rather than getting it all at once, but am I complaining? Nope. I just have to start writing the rough draft of my Hunting Horn guide like now, and hope that nothing else pops out by the time I finally get a chance to record and post it next year. As I said before though, there are a ton of perfect example moments that'll help out a ton towards that info compiling effort. First, let's talk confirmations of things I speculated towards or only got to briefly see done unintentionally in the previous footage. We finally got to see the hilt stab back in action, which is fortunate because it coming back will be a useful older tool for note stocking to have along with the newer ones we'll be getting. This also means that the quick start recital you can combo into afterwards is back as well. The super pound shortcut is also more clearly and intentionally shown here too. If song lists stay more or less the same, anything with light blue or yellow notes is going to have a good time stocking up on easy recital ammo songs between this and a few hilt stabs or crush follow-ups. As I expected, focus mode repositioning during recitals has an insanely generous range of motion. You can see him spin almost completely around to better land attacks on Raydow's head as it's flailing around. This fine adjustment will be a godsend when it comes to head-hitting accuracy in moments like this. And speaking of recital mode attacking, I suspected it when watching through this footage and Giraffe confirmed it in our chat afterwards. Directional recitals do seem to all be replaced by this new single quick encore. It's a shame when it comes to style points, but I can't deny that this one is functionally a lot better due to the speed and extra sound burst it lets off the more songs you play before it. Unless we only end up choosing a few of these for the animation time efficiency, it seems like the various directional recitals will be where we get our style points instead. More often than not though, what you'll want to do is have your horn facing forwards to make sure you land these sound waves. Performance beat and the quick encore will end up bringing your horn forwards anyway, so this will probably end up being your default recital positioning. Animations that leave your horn behind you like the neutral recital does have either been changed to forward facing by default or allow this new kick to let you bring it there manually. On the song side of things, we got a new quality of life / new possible technique confirmed from my questions checklist. If you look towards the song cue in these few clips here, you'll see that when roll canceling a song before the effect activates, it won't be removed from your queue anymore. If you don't use it, you don't lose it. Hypothetically speaking, if you wanted to just spam hit and run roll cancelled recitals, you could do so pretty much indefinitely with just one song. There are much better ways to use your songs offensively though, but we'll get into those when we talk the new stuff. Before we get there, I'll really have to play with this when I finally get hands on because I still can't tell for 100% certain just by eyeballing it, but the old moves really do seem to flow together a lot smoother. Giraffe was able to string notes and attacks really fluidly several times here, so even before we get to the extra things that were added, the moveset really does feel pretty streamlined. That'll really help us utilize that new stuff I mentioned earlier, which we can get into now. From what we see here, aside from all the small technical tweaks, your results with Hunting Horn are now definitely going to depend on how well you use our new biggest tools: the Echo Bubbles, Performance Beat, and Special Performance. Focus Strike will also be a part of that list, and it's been confirmed that you'll need to hit a wound to get the full effects. However, it's a bit of a risky move from what Giraffe told me, and he wanted to focus on the challenge of taking down Raydow on stage, so he leaned more towards the consistently safer options. Fortunately, we did learn most of what we needed to about that move from the third dev stream. Focusing on the Echo Bubble first though, this will definitely be one of the more important things to master. Leading into the thought that Hunting Horn is one of those big rain weapons, from what we can predict from the footage we have, its damage potential theoretically skyrockets up to some potentially crazy levels depending on how you strategically fight around these, if they work the way we see them right now. And on top of the power, you also get the added utility of the special boosts you get in or near them, so it'll be key to manage placing these and keeping up the fight within range. What's good for us though is that they seem relatively quick and easy to mix into your typical combat rotation. They can be chained both into and out of with regular attacks, recitals, and roll cancels. The hit they do when the bubble activates and the 3 notes you can quickly input during the dancing animation makes this move less of a setup and then benefit later and more of a readily useful way to spend combat time. You can dodge an attack, punish with it, and then go to town, queue up a recital to attack and then start it immediately afterwards. The options are pretty much entirely up to your creativity in the moment. However, you won't be able to spam these endlessly because they are slightly limited. You can only place a max of 3, with each stock taking 30 seconds to recharge when used and then each bubble lasting a minute when placed. Waiting a bit in between drops would let you use the dance strategically more when the chances come up, but if you're constantly working with 3 bubbles at all times, you still may end up feeling a cooldown for a couple seconds. We'll still have to test exactly what happens when you try to dance with no more bubbles left, but even with the resource constraints, I don't see it being too much of an issue to have them when you need them, and you will need them to synergize with the new performance speed mechanic, which is actually a lot more impactful than I thought. Now that we've gotten several examples of it being used correctly, we've learned a few more things. As a bit of a fun fact for starters, it turns out that they used the running double swing animation from Frontier. Hunting Horn is one of the few weapons without a huge number of possible changes to borrow from that game, so it's neat that they still managed to work something in for us too. On the actual functionality side though, they do a few things for us. The most obvious is that they make recital mode fast, like really fast. You're able to blast through a 3-song queue in much less time than it took before. Shoot, it even compares with playing just 1 song at a time in World. This will be great for fast forwarding through buffs and laying out the damage, although apparently it's mentioned in the demo guide that if you time them properly rather than rapid firing buttons, you'll get a damage increase. Doing another performance beat when you have no more songs to chain to is possible, but it seems to leave you in this sort of overcommitment animation, so it won't always be a mash buttons kind of thing. A rhythm-based mechanic like this is really cool to have on Hunting Horn, but without hands-on testing I haven't really been able to get a feel of what the timing may be. What we can see though is that these also have directional steps you can add to the animation to adjust your positioning mid-attack. This makes them essentially a sped up and aggressive replacement for the old directional encores the way I see it. And on top of the shuffling adjustments, roll cancels, and focus mode aiming, I don't think it's all that accurate to say that recital mode makes you less mobile or offensive anymore. This feels much more like a continuation of combat and less of a slight break in the action. Lastly, if we want to talk action, we gotta talk about that offset melody, because we finally got to see it and it looks beautiful to pull off. We've been told that special performances will be different from horn to horn for sure, so for now, we'll focus on this one, but all I can say is that the others need to be really good to compete with this. There seem to be 2 parts to this move. The lunge backwards that can be used to iframe attacks while you set up, followed by a quick punish with counterframes that'll blow monsters back if you connect the attack with the right move. I was just thinking to myself that one of the few things I was missing in with Wild's Hunting Horn was the breakdance dodge recital from Rise and Generations, but this fills that niche nearly perfectly. You do have to stock it, sure, but it looks pretty easy to have at almost all time with the new note shortcuts we have now, and if for some reason you fail to get the counter, you don't lose it. This is the counter move we've been missing in Rise Sunbreak for sure, and I'm gonna have a ton of fun firing these out right in front of monsters' faces. But with that, we've got our third and final Hunting Horn gameplay analysis from Gamescom, and they really did save the best for last. PAX West will be the next time we can expect to see demo gameplay again, and hopefully with this example to follow we'll get even more quality footage. I want to thank I'm a Giraffe Monster Hunter again for really representing the Hunting Horn community well yesterday, and for letting me spam him with those questions while putting this video together. Go show him some love guys, he really deserves it for that one. As far as things go over on our side, I'll be compiling all of the Hunting Horn footage from Gamescom later so you guys can all see it in one set place, without having to sort through all those hours worth of live stream, beginning to end, saving the best for last of course. Until next time we meet here though, this has been another KPlays and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.